Hello everybody, welcome to another Rick's Picks. Today I'm going to be doing my review of Boom, the One Piece character Roronoa Zoro from S.H.Figuarts. Now this is the version of him before the 2-year break, so this is the original version of him. So far I've been liking a lot of these figures. I haven't had any real issues with any of them. So without any further ado, roll that intro. All right, so here he is. He has your standard S.H.Figuarts looking packaging. So you have the figure here, another picture of him in the green, his standard green. You have one piece up in the corner, Roronoa Zoro. You have this open window where you can see him and most of his accessories. Figuarts, his name. Come around to this side. You get his name again, Figuarts, another picture of him. Come around to this side here. All right, you get a couple battle poses, another picture of the figure, all his different faces, including the Luffy face as well, and a bunch of Japanese legal. Come around to this side, you see all the faces of Zoro plus Luffy, his name, and Figuarts. Come around here, up top, you got the map of the One Piece world, the straw hat shape with Figuarts and a little bit of legal. Underneath, you have a picture of Zoro and his name. So, with all that being said, let's open him up and see what he's about. So here he is out of packaging. Now, the first thing we are going to do with him is go through his points of articulation. So, the head does move. You get a shoulder joint with a swivel, an elbow joint, and a wrist joint. All right, get this arm up. He does have a joint here underneath the ribs and one at the hips. Okay, he has a thigh joint with a swivel, a knee joint, a swivel at the top of the boot. All right, you got an ankle joint and a toe joint. So all his joints move very well on him. Now I am using a different stand than I normally do, one of these hip stands, just because of the factor that he doesn't have holes in the bottom of his feet. All right, so now we're going to look at his finer details. And the first thing, like always, is going to be the head sculpt. I do like the head sculpt on him. Looks really good. Definitely captures the whole look from the anime. Okay. And back around to the front. And then when you look at his overall appearance, he looks good. He definitely captures that first couple of seasons look from the anime. So he has his white shirt, his green cover bond, and also his black pants and boots. Come around to this side here. You got a hole here where you can hook his swords onto them. All right, then you got the back. All right, we'll bring this arm down. And you got his bandana tied to his, upper arm. And back around to the front. So overall, he looks pretty good for a Zoro figure. Now let's start looking at all his different accessories. So he comes with a bunch of hands. So he has his holding hand here. Right. He has two open hands. He has this one here. And this one. All right. Here's that other holding hand. All right. And then he has two more holding hands as well. So you have this one here. All right. And this one. All right. Now we're going to go through his alternate head, where he has this one where he has the bandana on the top of his head, and he has his mouth open for the sword. He has the alternate head for that one. So you got that kind of a smirk look to him. Then he has two alternate faces. So, oops. So he has him laughing. And you also have him angry. And of course, like with all the other figures, he does come with a Luffy face. Alright. Next up is his sword. So he has his three original swords. So he has his two, I guess they were sort of generic ones. I think he found them somewhere. So this one and this one. And of course, he has his iconic white sword as well. All right. And he has the setup with all three swords in the scabbard. Usually these tops can come off, so if you want to display them with the swords and you want them with the tops off, you can. Me personally, I always thought how a lot of these Japanese companies do this. I think it's just a waste of materials. I think it'd just be better if the sword could go all the way in the scabbard instead of having these three extra handles now that you have to, find some place for them. But we'll start with these. We'll hook them up under his arm here. Boop. Oops, there goes the arm. Luckily, these figures are made to actually come apart. Let's lift that. Let's take a look at those on the side. So that works very well. I'm going to just keep the sword handles in there just because of the fact there's no point in pulling them out. All right. Now, also, the bandana does come off, as you can see. So when you put them into, the second head that has the bandana on it, you can't actually take that off as well. All right. Let's stand back on him. Now let's start going through all the different types of heads. All right, so first we're going to go through the faces for this head. All right, that just pops out of there like that. All right, so that face fits in there pretty well. No issues with that. All right, and then he has that goofy, angry type face. Pops in there too. Yeah, fix that ankle. So that works just as well. So no problem with the alternate faces. Now let's do the alternate head. All right. We'll come back to this head in a minute. Let's just take a look at this other one. All right. Oops. Get him to work a little bit better here. There we go. So this face works well with them. No issues there. Now how you swap this out is you take that off and then you take the head. All right. And then you just put the bandana back on. And now he's ready to carry some swords in his mouth. So now let's start going through all the different hands with him. Matter of fact, I'm going to take this off for now. Just it'll make life a lot easier for me. All right. So first on our list, let's see if we can do the rest of this without that. Let's do the two open hands. One. And two. All right. So there you go. The open hands do work with him. No issues. Now you got these other style open hands. Now these are actually, I think, made for like if he was going to hold the swords, like on the scabbard. I think that's more of what these would be like. Let's bring this back. Like if you wanted to have them, I could actually get it on there. Come on. So if you wanted him to kind of stand like this, holding the sword. I can get it on there better, but just for time purposes, you know, I just kind of have it somewhat on there like that. You could do that with it, or if you want to move this hand out of the way, you want this one up and over. Damn it. Nothing is cooperating with this guy today. All right. So if you want him to also hold it like that, and there he goes falling over. That's why I was having to stand. But if you want him holding it like that, you can also do that as well. So that's basically what these hands are for. And now let's get to the other holding hands and do the iconic 3-sword carry. Now, one thing I'm kind of disappointed low-key with this figure is the factor that you can't do the 3-sword hold without the bandana. You know, you have to do it. God, this wrist keeps on moving. There it goes. You have to only do it with the bandana on. I kind of don't like that because I know there's been times when he does it without it, but, you know, I think they should have made 2 different heads for that. All right. So as you can see, as he leans forward, come on, dude, stand. And he doesn't want to cooperate. You see those hands fit in well. Now let's do our swords. 1, 2, and now 3. Come on, get in there. All right, get these hands out like that. So all 3 swords fit well on him. No issues with any of that. And of course, we also have our Luffy face. So let's do our Luffy head swap. All right. So as you can see, the head, that face fits fine with him. No issues. Okay, so let's get into my final thoughts of them. So first off, all his joints work very well. No issues with any of the joints. All the faces, heads, hands, swords, and what have you, all swapped out very easily. No issues with any of that. And I do think he's an overall good-looking figure. So would I recommend this figure? Yes, I would. I think the so far S.H.Figuarts is doing a really good job with these one-piece figures. I've been liking them a lot. I do have some minor qualms with him, like all the other figures, and this is just a personal thing. I don't like the factor that the swords, you know, for the scabbards, you only have the hilt and the Suba. You know, I always prefer that the swords go into the scabbard all the way instead of that little extra piece, because that's what they become. They just become all these little extra pieces that are either going to live in a box somewhere, or, you know, they're going to easily fall off of one of those, you know, scabbards. So that I've never been real big into, but it does seem to be a common thing with the Japanese figures based off of anime. I have other ones like the Berserk figures and all, and they all do the same thing. So it's just something that I personally do not dig. The other issue that I have with him is I would have liked for mouth, sword holding mouth face for him without the bandana as well. So if you want to pose him without the bandana on, with, you know, the sword in his mouth, you know, I would have liked to have had that option instead of just only being able to do it with the bandana on. So I hope you all did like this review. Now, the first thing I want to do is give a shout out to all the people who make this channel possible. First on that list is Byron Bassett and his alter ego, Humongous. He does help out with a bunch of things on the channel. He's been a big supporter of the channel for some time now. And he does have his own YouTube channel and show that he does every Sunday. So go ahead and check out his information in the description. Next on that list is Action Figure Geeks. They're a Reddit channel that I'm part of. They're also another supporter of this channel. So go ahead and check out their information in the description. And my good buddy Joe Goddard. He's been a big supporter of this channel for some time. He just started his own YouTube channel. So go ahead and check that out in the description as well. Plus, and most importantly, all of you, everybody who's liked, shared, subscribed, become members, watch videos all the way through, recommend the channel. I appreciate all of you because without you guys, this channel wouldn't be what it is today. So thank you very much. And I'd ask you all to check out my One Piece playlist and check out my membership program. Plus, hit that like, share, and subscribe. They're all small clicks for you, but it really helps this channel grow. So until the next one, late.